All right, I am ready to resin. Take a sip of my drink here. Yum. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Carolyn here from Never Perfect Resin. Question for you. Do we remember this little friend? Remember this little guy? He got made a few months ago when I found those amazing molds on Amazon, these gorgeous skull molds. And I'm sorry, sir, you've been through it. You're all dirty. I'm sorry, I gotta clean you up. Well, I wanted to make another skull. This time with a twist, if you will. Recreate another guy like this. Similar aesthetic, but even more spooky because, you know, Halloween's coming up and I just can't wait. I know it's technically still August. It's okay. If you didn't see this video of me making this little guy, I'll link it at the end of this one, so you can check that out for sure. But I wanted to recreate, I had this idea and I actually made the inlay for it a long time ago, like quite a while ago, like a couple months ago. And I'm finally getting into it. We're gonna make another like hipster skull with a twist using a cool inlay that I found. Well, I made the inlay. A cool faux leather sheet that I found. Credit for me anyway, because this is who I learned it from. I saw Wendy from Wendy Crafts create her own silicone inlays, big guys, out of faux leather sheets. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. I thought it was such a brilliant idea. And I had a look on Amazon, I looked on Temu. The ones that I ended up going with, I did find them on Temu. So products will be linked below. And Temu can be hard, you guys. So if it's sold out, I'm sorry, I will say if it's sold out, but if it's still there on Temu, I will link it down below for you. Do not worry. I take it up a notch. Let's see how I did. I'm gonna show you step by step what I got into. Let's see how it goes right now. So first things first, this faux leather sheet, in my personal opinion, is so super cool. I love it so much. I know I say that all the time, but look, it's covered in skulls. So no lie, when I did order this and it came in the mail from Temu, I got 2 sheets, but they were so bent out of shape and wrinkled, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I decided to take them into my bathroom and use my flat iron to flatten them out, and it worked like a dream. So that is what I did. After that, they were good to go. I only need 1 sheet for this project, so the other one is laying happily in my workshop, awaiting his debut for something. Grabbed some tin foil and I kind of crinkled it up around the edges, like bent it up, created a moat, if you will, so that silicone, if I had overspill, it wouldn't go all over my table. I am using Amazing Mold Maker for this project in particular. It is super easy to work with. It's a 1-to-1 silicone. I measured it out by weight and mixed it up. I spread it around as best I could. And this is what we're left with, you guys. How cool is that? Oh, it came out so awesome. Love it so much. All right, so I'm using the same like kind of placard mold that I used the last time for my other little hipster skull guy. So first thing I have to do is basically cut this silicone down to size. I just placed the mold on top. I used a Sharpie and kind of traced around the edges. Also knowing that I was gonna have to have like a millimeter or 2 of wiggle room so that it actually fits inside the mold, because I was tracing on the outside of the mold. I hope that makes sense. But yes, cut it down to size, and at this point I'm good to go with the next step. So I'm gonna dust this whole inlay with a couple colors. So I wanted to do the skulls in one color and the background in another. So I'm using Let's Resin mica powder in black for the skulls, and then I had this nail art powder in this really cool like dark red color. So I dusted the skulls first, and you guys, I did not put this part on videotape. I have really bad eyesight. I would have been blocking the whole camera, like with my face right above what I'm doing. I dusted the skulls black first. I took Q-tips with some 99% isopropyl alcohol and kind of cleaned up around the edges as best I could. Then brushed all of that red mica powder just all over the whole inlay. And I knew I could go over those black skulls because I had already put my mica powder in there. So the color that you put in first is going to be the color that shows up. This is where I had to have a small little stop and think. I originally was going to lay the inlay into the silicone mold and pour my black resin on top. And then I realized, wait, that's not going to work because I kind of want to be working from the bottom up. So luckily I realized this in time. FYI, I'm using Dr. Resin for this particular project and went ahead and poured all of my resin into the mold first. I let it sit for a good 45 minutes, maybe an hour, before I laid my silicone mold down. I just wanted to make sure. I feel like the mold is a little heavy and I didn't want to worry about it sinking, which is why I waited about 45 minutes to an hour before I put the inlay down onto the top. Once it was time, I very gingerly and carefully laid my inlay onto the top of this bed of resin. I did try to kind of start from one side and, kind of fold it down. Well, not fold it down, lay it down gingerly from one side to the other like a blanket, like we're making a bed, if you will. I don't want any air bubbles stuck inside of those skulls or anywhere else, so I did the best I could. And honestly, that's all we can do, right? Do the best we can. So, all right. 24 hours later, it is time to remove this gorgeous inlay and see what we're left with. While all of this is happening, it is time to take my beautiful hipster skull and start painting him. So I have decided to go with two nail powders. The first one you saw was a holographic, and then the second one was like a interference red. Then I'm going with Pearl X Sunset Gold. I thought that would be really cool for a little bit of the hair and the beard. And then I'm also going in with Pearl X Argent, which is silver. Me painting the guy, or brushing the guy, if you will, dusting him with the mica powders, not on camera because I have to have my face right up in there. But at the end of the day, this is what we ended up with. So I think he looks super flipping cool. I did his teeth in that holographic nail powder. I used that interference like red purple for his, like the bones, like for his skull. Then for his hair, I tried to do highlight. So I did a little bit of that hollow powder, and then I also put in a little bit of that gold and silver Pearl X powder. So I think it looks super cool, super cute. Love it so much. Eye sockets and nose socket. Did not touch those guys because I want those to be black. So I've got my 1-to-1 epoxy resin mixed up here. It's going down in, and we're gonna basically fill this guy up, let him cure, pop him out and see what we've got. All right, it is the next day and we cannot continue on until this guy is popped out because he's going front and center into this whole little placard situation. The very first thing I'm noticing is my mind is being blown by the purpleness of his bone structure. Do y'all remember that nail powder? It was a like white powder with a purple, pink, red shift, and now with the black, me putting that black resin behind it, it is just like blaring purple with like a little bit of a pink shift. Like I'm not seeing the red at all. Wow. But I'm not mad at it. I think it actually looks pretty flipping cool. So we are gonna run with it. And for whatever reason, I think that purple and red together is like a cool color combination. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Purple and red together, yay or nay? I'm on the yay train. I say yay. So y'all, feast your eyes on this lovely, satisfying release of the inlay. It looks so cool. It's so beautiful. Even like me touching I can feel the leathery parts of it, which I was kind of sad because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like pour a layer of clear resin on top. But I'm also thinking, oh man, I got to use this inlay again because the texture is so cool and I love it so much. It feels fantastic. Anyhow, next step at this point, you guys, I found these magnetic hooks. I did find them on Temu and I was thinking this would be the coolest thing to add to resin as kind of a temporary hook, or, you know, I don't know why we would make a placard with a hook where the hook would be temporary, but for some reason in my head, I think it would be very cool if it was magnetic and you could take the hook on and off. I think that's just the way my brain works. So anyhow, got one of these hooks, and then I happen to have a plethora of different magnets laying around. So I took one of the magnets, it's a black magnet, very standard. I think I got it at Home Depot, where I figured I would embed it into this resin whilst embedding our actual skull into our top layer of clear resin. Honestly, I could have just taken a good old hook and embedded the whole thing into this clear layer of resin, but I really wanted to try out this magnetic hook. So, and honestly, I was happy with the end result. So glad that I did it in the end. Okay, so last layer of 1-to-1 epoxy is going down. It's a very thin layer, just enough to pretty much embed our Mr. Skull Man and to embed the magnet. I wanted to make sure to babysit this skull. I did not want it flying around in my wet resin. Luckily, I think it was heavy enough. I didn't really have to worry about that. I did check on him a few times and he seemed to be staying in place. So I was very happy. So all we got to do is let this guy cure, pop him out. And I think at this point we are ready for some outside videos and still shots. All right, gotta say, our Mr. Man is looking pretty amazing outside in the sunlight. My favorite part of this whole situation is definitely his hair and his teeth. Those highlights really come through. Of course, I feel like they're not totally like getting picked up by the camera as well as they should, but oh my gosh, like between the hollow and all of that cool stuff, oh, Like right here, see that gorgeous hollow in his hair? Love it. Anyhow, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, Wendy from Temu Crafts, she's amazing at making silicone inlays. I know she makes the little tiny ones. I know that she sells them on her website. Definitely go check her out if you haven't already, which you probably have. But yeah, Wendy, thank you so much for the inspiration for this one. I will link the video that inspired me down below, as well as all of the products that I used, all of that good stuff, as well as any referral codes, affiliate codes I have, and all of that. You guys, thank you so much for watching this one. I appreciate it so much. Love to hear comments from you guys. Love it when you hit that thumbs up button. Y'all, anyone that has given me a super thanks, and you know who you are, thank you so, so much. I am so appreciative for the love and the support. And again, you're just helping me grow that much more within the channel and helping to give you guys some really awesome content. Okay, until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye.